have my latest sewing project here, as you can see. It's not really a sewing project. It was more like a nightgown type thing. Beautiful fabric, linen, soft. But it was too long. It was all the way down to the back of my knee, and I thought, oh, this would look so much cuter if it was shorter. So yeah, I'm trimming it, and I'm just sewing down the edges by hand. I'm actually not that good with a sewing machine, so it's actually easier for me to do it by hand. Like, I mess it up so bad with the sewing machine. Also, we've been having some issues with Wi-Fi, so we haven't had Wi-Fi in the past 3 days. So I've had to resort to good old-fashioned, real-life, like IRL sources of entertainment. This is kind of going to be like a chit-chat, relax with me while I sew kind of video. But before we get into it, I want to give a quick shout-out to Vitaly or Vitaly, I don't know how you say this name, but I've been using IPL hair removal devices for the past 2 years, I would say. And shout out, oh, ignore the mosquito bite. I'm the most hairless I've ever been in my life. I've always said that I've had thick, coarse body hair thanks to my Turkish genetics. I mean, granted, I also have thick, luscious eyebrows thanks to that, so I'm not complaining too much, but the body hair was definitely annoying, and I've tried everything, but nothing really works. My hair would grow back instantly if I shaved, right? And with these devices, it's so easy to use. You literally just shave, press the button, and it just flashes. There's a flash of light, easy to use. It's just, you can do it whenever you feel like it. And the results speak for themselves. I feel like I went from the body hair of a Turkish lesbian, as I like to say, to the body hair of just a regular North American girl, which is quite a bit of a difference. If you'd like to get one, I'm going to put the link in the description, and you can use this code for 30 euros off your order. I don't understand how the technology works. I just know that it works. And I am living proof. And on to my sewing. By the way, if you were there for my live stream, for my haircutting live stream, these are the results. I think it came out beautifully. People were panicking that I'm cutting my hair short. As you can see, I did not. I would never. Hair for me is one of those things that I think it looks good. It looks good both on men and women. Long hair, I think. I'm a real big fan of long hair. And on myself too, but also on everyone else. So I would never go for oh, it's a trend now to cut your hair this short and that short. And I never fell for those. Ever since I was young, I just really wanted long hair. And I always had long hair until at one point I had to shave it. But that was for a different reason. It's because I ruined it with dye and bleach, and I technically didn't have to shave it, but I think it's my OCD just kicked in, my perfectionist side, and I was like, you know what, if my hair is going to be ruined, I might as well have a fresh start, and I just went ahead and shaved it. But I honestly think maybe it was some sort of past life healing process, because I was always afraid of having a shaved head, so maybe it was something healing happening, if I shave it by choice. I don't know, sometimes I get flashes of possible past lives. I'm pretty sure I was in a Jewish concentration camp and they shaved my head, and that's why shaving it by choice was a healing thing that happened in this lifetime. I don't know, just a feeling I get. Just a casual past life feeling. Do you guys get that? Another past life I definitely had was as a dog. For sure. Ever since I was young, I just loved pretending to be a dog. I know a lot of kids role play, but I took it to the next level. I was like, hey mom, can you put my cereal in a bowl on the floor so I can eat it like a dog? Hey mom, can I have this fur scarf that you have and pin it to my butt so I can pretend to have a tail? Can I just walk around on all fours all day? I was so committed. I just felt like I would make a better dog than a person, than a human. Is that an autistic thing? Do you ever just get the feeling that you make a terrible human being, but a cat? I would make a great cat. A dog? Fantastic. I have all the qualifications. I'm loyal. I'm affectionate. I'm protective, like I'm loving. I'm very like, well, I said loyal, but I'm very like monogamously loyal, you know. I'll be loyal to only one person. You know, I would have made a great dog. Whatever. Lost opportunity. Oh, and I love people food. You know, dogs love people food. Sometimes I get the feeling like maybe I just wanted to be a human so I could eat people food. And then I realized it comes with all this other crap, and I was like, shit. Did I really choose this? Like, I just wanted the food. Wait, are we serious? Oh, I think there's a plane going by, like a jet. We don't usually get very many planes going by. That's cool. I'll wait. It's very loud. Oh, okay, it's gone. Sometimes we'll get sonic booms, which is, if you've never experienced a sonic boom, it's when an airplane exceeds the speed of sound, and it sounds like a bomb went off. And the first time I heard it, I was convinced that a bomb went off, and I was terrified. And then P told me it was the sonic boom from the military airplanes that sometimes go by. And I was like, whoa. That's so cool, but also so scary at the same time. Like, it's really, really loud, and it sounds like an explosion. It's literally when the plane just breaks through the sound barrier as it's going above the airspace, and then you hear that down here. One of my special interests was planes for a while, and so I knew about the sonic boom, but I just never heard it before. Like, I was obsessed with the Concorde. If you don't know what the Concorde is, it's the only passenger airplane that went above the speed of sound. It went like 2.5 times the speed of sound, which is crazy. It's no longer in service. They retired them because they were too expensive to operate. The Concorde used to go from like London to New York in 3.5 hours. That to me was fascinating. Like, how could we have had that technology and given it up, you know, instead of improving it? It's almost like going backwards, right? So it blew my mind. And they say, oh, there was a lethal accident, this and that. True, but there was only one. So, I don't know. Well, it was pretty damn lethal, but anyway, I find it fascinating. It's one of my special interests, so I won't like talk too much about it because I can go on and on about my special interest topics. Like, just I know so many random facts about ships and airplanes and things like that, and perfumes and sewing. But this one comes in handy. Yeah, this is I find it kind of therapeutic, honestly, because when you get into the rhythm, it's like, you know, it becomes an automatic pilot type thing, even though it goes slowly. Like, I've been sewing this whole time, I've only done this much, but still, I've done this much. You know, so the whole thing is gonna take a while, but it's kind of like a meditation. I could never do passive meditation. That kind of sounds like torture to me. Like, I like to be active. Like, I would call walking a form of active meditation, or like doing things with your hands. If you're wondering why I'm doing that, is the little pins that I have pinned on the edge, and I take them out as I get to them. One thing I hate about living here is being like close to a main road. It just gives me such a headache. Like, you can't have the windows open without hearing so much noise. This room is the better one. My room faces directly the road, so it's like 10 times louder. I think wherever I move to, I just want to avoid something facing a main road, because it's really unnecessarily painful. It's a constant attack on the senses, you know. It's a sensory overload issue for me. Like, I'm very sensitive to sensory overload, especially with loud noises, loud smells. Can you call a smell loud? I think you should be able to. I think some perfumes are just extremely, well, most perfumes are extremely loud on the senses. It's So it's becomes overwhelming for me. I really appreciate when people are modest about their perfumes. Like if you only spray once, maybe twice if it's like if you're going outside. But really, most perfumes, one spray is just plenty, and it lingers as well. I can smell perfumes on my clothes like a week later. So I really appreciate when people are mindful about other people and not dousing themselves and things like that are so loud. It's almost like having the consideration of not blasting your music for everyone else to hear, right? You wouldn't go in public and just blast your music super loud to the point where people are like, ow, my ear. That's how I feel about smells and perfumes. It's just being considerate. I know you like it, but maybe I don't. So, just keep it down. Don't make it too loud. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's just basic common sense, but some people, man, especially Italians. Man, Italians, I don't know if they have a problem with their noses in the sense of smell, but they like to just shower in that stuff. It's really too much. It's too much. Even if I like the perfume, it'll give me a headache, Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, if you are not autistic, maybe you don't relate to that, because the level at which autistic people perceive the world is really, it's amplified. It's more. It's intense. We can't filter out information. That's like the most common thing of like a problem with being autistic, is you can't filter out. You can't tune things out, including emotions. So sometimes it becomes very overwhelming to exist in this world where most people are just really good at that, and they function really well in society because of that. That's why a lot of autistic people like don't work or prefer not to have jobs where they interact with people, because not only are we not able to filter out our own emotions and sensations and sensory input, a lot of us can actually feel other people's stuff. So, yeah. It's a lot. That's why an activity like this is something I've always loved doing. Ever since I was young, was just doing like quiet activities alone, because it gives me that time to decompress and process all this sensory information that I'm receiving throughout the day, whether I'm aware of it or not. Like, sometimes you're not even aware of what causes a sensory overload situation until you have a meltdown at the end of a day, and you're like, why do I feel like this? Why can't I deal with the world? And it's like, well, actually, maybe you were just exposed to a really loud environment for the past 8 hours, and you weren't filtering any of that out, and it was overwhelming for your nervous system. So now you're like, the pressure built up, and now you have to release the pressure. It's not like we're failing being human. It's just that we're a different type of human that the world doesn't accommodate. Because if everyone was like this, they would be more considerate. This is something I've come to learn later on in my life, is that some people are very loud with their emotions. Like, some people make their emotions your problem, right? They're very loud with their emotions. And it's not considerate, because your emotions are only your problem. They're not supposed to be everyone else's problem, right? They're not supposed to be my job to fix. They're supposed to be yours to deal with. So when you're around people who are very loud emotionally, it can also be very overwhelming, because it's inconsiderate. It's a breaking of a boundary. Like, imagine somebody who just gets really angry out of nowhere, and you're just existing. Like, their anger is theirs to deal with, but they make it your problem. I have an issue with that. That's very harmful to be around people like that. So I tend to choose the people that I'm close to, like, very carefully. I'm very selective these days, because a lot of people are just too much for me to handle. Your emotions are not supposed to be my problem. I think that should be just common sense, but for some people, my God, some people just don't get that. And then they're like, oh, why are you leaving me? Why are you abandoning me? I'm sorry. If you push people away, you can't ask, why are you leaving? If you are not considerate of the people around you and their boundaries, and you're very loud and very obnoxious with your emotions, like, you can't ask why they're leaving. That's just self-preservation. Isn't it not common sense? I'm running out of thread. I'm getting to the end of it. I always cut it too close. I don't want to do it this time. I'm going to just finish it off here and add a new one. I'm not going to cut it too close because then it slips right out and it's annoying. It's annoying. I have to rethread and rethread. Okay. Let's get more thread. This kind of reminds me of hanging out with my grandma. She always had a project in her hands, a little sewing, a little knitting. Grandmas are amazing like that. They just know how to live a soft life. My grandma never worked. I think she was like a housewife her whole life, like a stay-at-home mom. So she was really good at cooking and crafting and things like that. Kind of envy their generation. Like she was married her whole life, and her and my grandpa passed like pretty close to each other within the same year. They were really like soul bonded, and she got sick first and then he passed away and then she passed away. We like to say that, you know, he felt that she wasn't coming back, so he had to cross and then help her cross. He like died so peacefully too, in his sleep, like the way everyone wants to die, you know, like he just went to sleep one day and he didn't wake up. The next morning my aunt was there and she just checked up on him and he was gone. I hope I can die like that. I hope we can all die like that. It sounds so peaceful. And he wasn't even sick, you know? He was fine. The doctor had told him, like this was years ago, right? The doctors had told him, don't stress out. It's not good for your heart. So he took that very literally. He was like, no stress, no stress. It's what the doctor said. Because the doctor said that, it gave him like the permission. So anytime somebody was stressing him out, maybe my grandma was stressing him out, like being really loud with her emotions, let's say, he would just be like, no stress. And then like he would actually, it was amazing. He would stop stressful situations because the doctor said so. And yeah, we have this theory as a family that maybe because when my grandma got sick, he got stressed out and it wasn't good for his heart. Not to make this sad or anything, I think their generation, you know, they had something right. It was a more romantic generation. Like my parents' generation is a divorce generation. Like everybody I know, their parents got divorced, right? Everyone I know. And a lot of them, especially the women, end up being single, like end up being alone. This whole like hyper-independence movement, it happened quite recently in our history, and I don't know if I like it, to be honest. I think it took away something. Like it took away from family values and this sense of like togetherness, of like we're together, we're good until we're gone, kind of. Even in my relationship with P, we were like hyper independent, okay? Even financially, like we kept our shit separate. It never really felt like a marriage. It's not that, you know, we never really decided to get married, and in a romantic sense, it was more of a, oh, you need to stay in Italy, let's get married. And I was like, okay. So we didn't emotionally get married. And I think our relationship and our lives reflected upon that because we kept everything separate. I think we kept our bedrooms separate because deep down in an emotional level, we were separate. And I think that's what caused a lot of the loneliness in this relationship, at least for me, because maybe she was okay with that level of separateness, but I wasn't. And our intimacy, like our sex life, also reflected that separation. It became non-existent. And I think for my future, I really want something like my grandparents had, where it's like, if you find your person, like, that's your person, and that's it. And it has to be a little bit more romantic than this was, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it has to be. This wasn't it. This wasn't it. I'm telling you. Like, I know what I felt versus what I wanted to feel. And I just think we were not the right match in that sense, because it never got there, you know? Like, my ideal relationship with a partner would be like, let me see. Like, one thing I really want is, if we're gonna be traveling anywhere and we're gonna be staying at a nice hotel, like, we better be using that hotel. We better be using it. Like, not wasting it. A beautiful hotel room? Nothing else to do? Why are we wasting it? You know? Whoever I end up with, like, I want to enjoy them in this body, if that makes sense. Keeping it PG for YouTube. I want to enjoy it. And that's the only reason I would travel, honestly, because I'm not a tourist. I'm not a touristy traveler. Like, I hate going around for the sake of going around and seeing places. I hate it. There's no purpose in that for me. It's boring. Just walking around taking pictures is really boring for me. So if I'm going anywhere, I want to enjoy it in the hotel room with good food and good company. And then we can go around walking, like, when we're done with all that. Just, just for a change, just for a breath of fresh air, we can go out for a walk and see a couple of things. But, like, nah, that's not the point for me. That's not the point of traveling, and that's not the point of life. At least I'm very clear on what I want at this point, which is good. This is how far we've gotten, by the way. That's how far. Yeah, I mean, every relationship teaches you about what you want and what you don't want. Make your preferences very clear, right? In this relationship, there was a lot of potential there. I thought maybe it could be what I wanted. But I think we just had really different manifestation goals when it came to a relationship. I don't know if it was the age gap, but P was not interested in what I just said. So, we were fighting two different, like, we were wanting two very different things, and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting different things. It's just, if we can't give each other that, like, it is what it is. Sometimes it's just not right. I don't know. I think for me, life is very simple. Like, I know my limitations, but I also know my potential, and I really want to enjoy this body and what this life has to offer in the body, right? We get too much up in our heads, but any enjoyable experience in this life always translates through the body. It's never gonna be up in your head. And I just feel like a little bit sad that I never really got to experience the full depth of that in this body yet. I hope I will. That's my wish. It's just to enjoy life with somebody. I hope it's going to be possible for me. We'll see. But, it is what it is. I am kind of, grieving the end of whatever this was, but it's not because I'm missing it. It's just because, I got so used to it. It was comfortable, but it wasn't the right fit. And my body told me that, like, it was very clear. So yeah, I'm hoping that now that I know what I want, I will find the right fit, because I know what I'm looking for. Hopefully what I'm looking for will be looking for me as well. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for joining me today. I really hope the background noise wasn't too annoying. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to check out Vitaly, the IPL device. Link is in the description. Get you yours so you can have nice hairless legs. You can also use it on your armpits. Or anywhere. In your butt crack, you can use it anywhere. Just, it's very easy to use. Okay, see you next time. Bye.